Hello BSS, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here then just welcome. Hi, my name is Brenda. I do mostly paranormal videos here on my channel, so if that is something that you are interested in, please consider subscribing down below and turn on your post notifications so you do not miss when I post another video like this one. Now with all of that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. Alright you guys, so as you can tell by the title, per usual, today I am going to be reading some more scary dream stories that you guys submitted to me. So I'm really excited to see what else you guys dream up in that little head of yours, because the mind is a powerful thing, my friends. It really is. A lot of things that get like conjured up in your head, that get made up in your head, the type of things that your brain randomly makes up. It's insane. I've had like some of the craziest dreams, not even scary ones, just like the most outlandish things that you're just like, why was I even thinking about this? Like, why did my brain just come up with this? There's so much to learn about the mind, you know, like why these things happen and where they come from. So so I thought this little segment in my channel would be fun to do, because although it's not like a paranormal thing, it's something that happens while you're asleep and it's not real. I always just wonder why it is that we dream these things, and whether any part of these dreams could potentially be real. Could your mind subconsciously be maybe predicting something, or could they be some kind of vision, anything like that? So it is very intriguing, fascinating stuff. So I'm really excited to get into today's video and to read some of these stories and see what you guys have dreamt up in the past. So if you guys are interested in sending me your scary dreams that you had, make sure to send them to my email beyondbsfparanormal@gmail.com, and make sure that you put in the title or in the subject line that it is about a dream. That way I don't confuse it with the other stories that are about paranormal experiences, and that way I can kind of have them separated and I don't accidentally think that you had this dream as an actual experience in real life. So make sure that you do that if you are sending me a dream story. Now let me pull up my phone real quick so we can get into our first scary dream of the day, of the video. Okay, so first one is scary dream / sleep paralysis. With sleep paralysis always creeps me out. I'm like, I hope I never experience that in my life. Alright, it says, you can include my name, Kylene, pronounced Kylene. I think I'm saying it right. It says, Dear Begasa / Brenda, this story happened around when I was 9 years old. I am 16 as of right now, so let's get into the story. So in the dream I had sworn I woke up because it was so vivid, but there was multiple shadow men standing around me chanting something, not very clear, but chanting. I had just laid there, not moving. I was sick all the time, and then they just poofed, vanished. The second story. At this time, me and my younger sister had shared a bunk bed, and my aunt had her own bed a little away from the bunk beds, and I had seen a lady floating around the right side of my aunt's bed to the left, right out of the door. Something was scary about her face, but she scared me so bad I swore it was a dream, but it's not, so maybe you could include this in another story. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you pick mine. I've been watching since you started, and yes, I've been into the paranormal since I was very young. I've seen tons and heard tons, so I'm thinking clairvoyant, but maybe not totally believe in the paranormal and everything. Okay, so the first one was about most likely sleep paralysis and possibly a dream. And then the second one, you know, may or may not be a dream. It wasn't very clear, but you know, when you're in the midst of like waking up or you suddenly wake up, sometimes it's not very clear whether you're dreaming or not. You kind of have to do like a little double take. And if you saw something floating around your aunt's bed and you've never seen it before and you never saw it anymore, it could most likely be a dream. You know, maybe it was just something that you woke up from but then fell back into sleep to. But that's the only explanation I could have if it wasn't a dream, right? Or if you're not sure, I mean. Okay, thank you so much, Kylene, for sending that in. The fact that the sleep paralysis caused you to see not only shadow people, but you could hear them chanting. I don't know, something about that does not sit right with me. All right, let's go ahead and get into story number 2. And this one is sent in to me by Blanca R. And she titled it Dreams, as I told you guys. So I'm glad you guys did follow the rules. And it says, trigger warning, human trafficking / suicide. It says, my dream started in a small, dirty room with a thick metal collar around my neck, with a chain attached that was welded to the floor. My wrists and ankles were also chained, making it hard for me to move or stretch. I came to, and I wasn't wearing any clothes, and there was rust on the walls and dark stains on the floor. With one weak light bulb that would flicker due to the storm raging outside the room I was in. I knew I was in a ship due to the room swaying back and forth. The feeling of hopelessness, despair, sadness, and fear reeked and filled my soul, weighing me down because I knew I wasn't the first or last to be chained up. I told myself, I don't know how I got here. I know I'm going to be sold off in another country, and I can only imagine the horrors of what's going to happen to me, but I'll die before anyone gets the chance to lay a finger on me. In that moment, the door opened and a man stepped in, unlocking my restraints. After he was done, he got up and walked to the door, signaling me to follow him. Then a rage unlike anything I ever felt before took a hold of me, the kind of blind fury where your body has a mind of its own and you have no control. That was enough for me to catch this man by surprise as I rammed my whole body into him, knocking him down, causing the door to violently swing open. I got up and tried to run the best I could, but due to the storm rocking the boat, regaining feeling in my legs, and that it was pitch black, with the occasional lightning strike blinding me, it was hard to keep moving. An alarm went off and I heard angry shouting behind me, and next thing I knew, I was cornered. The balcony behind me and a gang of men in front of me. My options were to throw myself into the sea below and drown, or get recaptured, and I knew these men were going to do horrible things to me. As a side note, I have thalassophobia, which is a fear of large bodies of water, which started after I nearly drowned as a kid because I couldn't, and still can't, swim. And because of that, the thought of me in the ocean terrifies me to my core. Back to my dream. As terrifying as the ocean is for me, I threw myself overboard. The second I hit the water, I could hear the men yelling, but I remember how cold, dark, and quiet it was the faster I sunk. I had tunnel vision, and the only thing I could see was the underside of the boat when the lightning flashed. I felt my body becoming weaker and heavier as I instinctively tried to breathe. I was scared as I tried with everything I had to claw my way to the surface and that I was in complete darkness. I was scared that my life was coming to an end and no one would know. A feeling of calm came over me, and then I woke up. Everything felt so real that I cried a little. Needless to say, I struggled to go back to sleep. As a bonus, I'll throw in this weird thing I've experienced. I truly have no idea if I was asleep or awake or maybe somewhere in between. I was laying face up and I saw this cloud start to materialize in the corner of my room. This thing was then taking a humanoid form that reached near ceiling height. I've heard of the Hat Man, but I honestly don't remember if the thing had a hat or not. Also, I've heard that the Hat Man isn't see-through and darker than anything around it. But whatever I saw was dark gray and semi-transparent. At the same time as this was happening, I felt what can only be described as something alive being placed at my side. The size of whatever was moving made me think of a kicking baby. I didn't want to look at both of those things, so I kept looking at my window, which was directly in front of me. I heard this creepy laugh coming from this baby, and I was thinking, wake up, get up, snap out of it. This happened during the daytime around 10 or 11 a.m. I've never experienced anything like this since, and I hope to never experience this again. If I had to guess, maybe it's the stress that my high school crush ended up ghosting me as soon as we started dating, and I had a really hard time processing what had happened at that time. I could be wrong. I've had other spooky things happen to me over the years, so who knows. I'll end this with saying I discovered your channel recently and I'm in love with the spooky content. Thank you so much, Blanca, for sending that in. What a wild dream. And the way that you typed it out and explained it, like I could picture all of it in my head and the fear of it too, because I don't have the phobia that you have, obviously, like not diagnosed or anything, but I feel like large bodies of water could scare anybody, especially if you think about how maybe the shore is miles and miles away and there's just no way that you can get to it, and then you'll eventually get tired of paddling and the only thing that you can do is go down and sink, right? Like that is absolutely terrifying, especially not knowing what is in the dark waters and what could be around you, whether it be other sea life or something like that, anything trying to harm you. That is absolutely terrifying. And as you were cornered in this dream, like what else could you do? Either you go and let these men do whatever it is that they were going to do, take you wherever it was that you were going to be taken to. That is absolutely terrifying. And then the other story that you said, what the hell? What the hell could that have been? A cloud that turned into a human figure and then left a baby thing next to you? Like, what even is that? I would love to hear your guys' theories on that, because I can't even think of why that would why your mind would bring that up if it was a dream. What is happening? But that's the thing, when it comes to dreams, sometimes there's no explanation as to what's going on in your dream. You're just kind of going through it and you're just like, I don't know what the hell that was, but that was weird as hell. And that's what this experience was. And then especially because you didn't know whether you were asleep or not, that makes it even scarier, because if you weren't asleep and this was some kind of paranormal experience that happened to you and you just couldn't realize that it was happening like in real life, that's terrifying. But thank you so much again, Blanca, for sending that in. I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that you discovered my channel as well. I really appreciate you being here. Alright, now let's go on. Okay, this one's a really short one, so we'll include it. It's by Montserrat Torres. It says, I had this dream when I was 8 years old, if I am not mistaken. In my dream, I was sitting on a white plastic chair. I was laying upside down. I then imagined I was playing bowling in my backyard. I then sat on the white plastic chair. It was outside next to a palm tree we had. I suddenly feel somebody choking me to death. It's the devil. He is red, has horns, and a tail. I was feeling scared and suffocated. I wake up scared. I like the way it was like very much to the point. Like this happened, and then I woke up and I was scared, because honestly, same. But thank you, Montserrat, for sharing that with us. And that could scare anybody. The devil choking you to death. What is going on? Like, what is the reason, right? Okay. All right. So that one was story number 3, I think, right? And now let's go into story number 4. And I believe this might be our last one. It's a little bit long, so I hope that it's a good length. Okay, it says, Hi Brenda, my name is Yaneli, and I'm a big fan of your videos. Thank you. I watch them almost daily. I want to tell you about a dream I've had that I just can't wrap my head around. I'm not even sure if it was a dream. It was the early hours of the morning and I had woken up, or so I thought. I started having a really difficult time breathing. In a panic, I tried getting up, but I couldn't. It felt like I was being restrained. While all of this was going on, I started feeling an evil presence in my room. For context, I strongly believe my room is haunted. I've heard voices and movements coming from inside of my closet. I've even felt someone get in bed with me while I'm facing the other way. Anyway, back to the story. After struggling to get up, I was finally able to break free from the hands. I was walking very slowly. It felt like time was slow too. I opened my door and was knocking on my brother's door for help. After pounding on the door many times, I got no answer. I decided to use my phone to call my mom, who was sleeping downstairs. She never picked up. For some reason, I went back into my room, and when I reached my bed, I just fell on it, almost as if my body gave up. I was literally sprawled across my bed. I don't know how to explain this part, but I woke up. When I woke up, I was in the same position as I was when I fell on my bed. I even remember where my phone had fallen. This is the part that doesn't make sense for me. If it was a dream, there's no way I would have woken up in that same position from my dream. This happened during the winter, and so my house gets really cold during that time. I always sleep under many blankets, and I don't really move in my sleep. If I do, it's not enough to get me out of my covers and in a whole different position. To this day, I can't explain what happened. I even checked my recent calls to see if I actually called my mom, but that call wasn't there. I remember the phone ringing as I called her too. That's all there is to my story. I hope you enjoyed it. I love your channel and I hope you get to read this. Thank you so much, Yaneli. That one was very interesting because I've heard of stuff like that happening where in your dream, if you're in your house and your dream takes place in your house, sometimes whatever is happening in your dream, like somehow it actually happens in real life. Like sometimes there's those dreams where you feel like you fell off of something, and then in real life you actually fell off of the couch or the bed or something, and that's why you got like that sensation, but you thought that you were sleeping and you thought that you were dreaming about it. And that one was very intriguing to me because of the fact that you said that you don't remember getting up, and then that you woke up in the same position that you were in your dream and with your phone in your hand and like the whole thing. But obviously the only difference was that you don't think that you actually went out to your was it your brother's room to go knock on his door. And then obviously if you did, he probably would have remembered hearing that or would have heard that, because I mean, how could he not, right? Especially if you were pounding on the door. And then the phone call with your mom, like those are the only two differences. Other than that, you were actually on top of your bed, not in the covers, but on top, just fallen in place there. That is super intriguing to me. I wonder what could have happened. Could you have slept walked maybe, or something like that? And those dreams where you don't know if you're awake or not are like the scariest to me, because sometimes it sends me into an existential crisis, because what is real and what isn't. Sometimes when you're sleeping and you're lucid dreaming and you're vividly dreaming about these things, you're like, there's no way that this wasn't real. And it kind of mind fucks you a little bit, and it really gets your mind just going and what could have possibly been going on, and could this have actually been real? Because I've had very vivid dreams where I have like a whole conversation with somebody over the phone, and I remember telling me like the most awful things, and then I wake up feeling very sad because I'm just like, oh my god, I can't believe I was on the phone with this person and they said all these things to me. And then I wake up to like a regular text message from them being like good morning or whatever, and then me being like, wait, so that whole thing wasn't real. I have to go look at my phone and see if I ever called them at all in that day, and I didn't. It was just like text message or snaps or whatever. And then I'm like tripping out because I'm like, there's no way that I didn't actually have this conversation with this person, because it felt so real, and I woke up feeling sad like I was in the dream. The mind is crazy, you guys, I'm telling you. So that is going to be our last scary dream. Let me know your thoughts on these dreams, if you guys have any theories about what they could mean, or if you think that any of these could have possibly been an actual thing that happened to these people and not a dream. Maybe you're like, you should call a priest or something. You should go to church. I'm just kidding. But let me know your thoughts down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about these stories. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it. But before I do end today's video, today's comment shout out goes to this person right here. Thank you so much for leaving a nice comment. As always, I really do appreciate it, and it really makes my day. And if you want to be the next comment shout out, all you have to do is leave me a nice comment down below, and that's it. And just a quick reminder, guys, I do have memberships open on my channel. So if you click that join button down below, that's right next to the subscribe button, you pay just $4.99 a month, and you get exclusive content that I only upload for my members channel, or whatever you want to call it, and it's exclusive to that only. And you get to participate in polls to choose topics that I do here on my channel, and then you also get to use these really cute custom emojis, and you get a little badge next to your name as well to indicate that you are a member of my channel. So if you guys are interested, that join button down below, that's all you need to do. You just gotta click on that, and you would be supporting my channel directly. And yeah, guys, that is going to be it from me. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Hopefully I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to stay safe and be kind. Bye bye.